How's it going, my flesh and blood players? This is going to be the last Azalea testing video I'm going to do because I have the Pro Quest coming up this next following Saturday. Still not 100% sure who I'm going to bring, but with the new Bolton boots for Azalea, she is starting to feel pretty good. But we're going to discuss the meta a little bit, talk about where she might be positioned, and I might come in with some of these other heroes as well that's kind of pushing through the meta. We'll discuss that a little bit first. After the calling and the showdown, we definitely saw a surge with KO. I guess it caught some people by surprise. I wasn't really surprised at all. It's a good deck to have. Also, we've seen a couple of Kanos, and Decimator Great Axe Warriors are becoming a thing now too. So the Oldhams are kind of getting smothered a little bit, which is interesting. Pretty much if you're going into your Pro Quest with Sage, kind of know your local meta and see what you're going to run into. KO is always going to be a race. Doesn't matter who you pick. You're going to end up seeing some Iras and Phis as well. And like I said, then there's the Decimator Great Axe build, which if you're running aggro, you just don't care. You don't block a whole lot. You're just going to hope to push through some damage. With that said, I know I'm showing some gameplay here of how my matchups went when I was testing a little bit. We ended up playing 5 games. I'll just show what I can here until the video is done. But we did run into 2 KOs and we did win both of those. Just being able to pressure disruption and with the dominate. And KO doesn't want to block anyway, so as long as you're out racing him, you're going to be fine. As far as sideboarding goes, I think sleep darts are really good sideboard option into him, because turning off his ability text is pretty clutch. Then we had one match against Lexi, which we also won. I just threw in the extra blues in case I saw a frostbite get thrown at me, but I didn't. I just kind of outraced her. And then we did have a Vince set, and we didn't win that. That's something I'm going to mess around with my inventory. I've noticed I was only using the one hamstring shot, and I think I might be able to replace that with like an Arcane Polarity. It might end up messing with our deck and what we're trying to do, but I do want to test that a little bit and see if that helps us with the matchup, because even throwing in the extra blues, I was just not able to get there. And we did run into a Valda, and we didn't win that either. I tried using the Widowmaker. It didn't really do what I was hoping it would, just because then they're blocking with armor, and Guardians plus the Warriors have really good armor equipment. I feel like I'm going to pull out the Widowmaker and put back in one copy of the Murkmire Grapnels, and then just use the release attentions. Because with the Guardians, they want to do D-reacts with the Sanch and stuff. And then for the Warriors, they're trying to use Steel Blade Shunts, things like that. And I've also saw one that ended up using, I think it's called Brush Off, which prevents. So the Murkmire Grapnel can be helpful for that. So that's just kind of been my ideas as far as testing, getting ready for a Pro Quest if I end up bringing Azalea. As far as the Bolton boots, I think it helps her out a lot. With that being there, it's been making me feel a little bit more confident throwing arrows into my arsenal instead of just trying to play with a 4-card hand, because there's not a lot of arsenal disruption in this format. You can sit one in there, you get a blue in hand, you can just put a quick pump onto that arrow, give it the go again, and then you can activate your Death Dealer with the chest piece, which is a free draw, things like that. Also, I've been loving the Tasmalic lens, if I'm saying that right, over the Wayfarer's Crest. Just being able to opt to look for an arrow for the Dominate has actually been more helpful. So that's something that's going to stay. The full deck itself is really solid. There's just some inventory things that I want to mess around with a little bit. see how it works. I think KO is going to be a lot more represented than what was first expected, and I think we can handle that matchup. Kanos haven't tried a whole lot with Azalea. I think you just try to get the big arrow pump and just force them to lose a hand. And then, what was the other ones? Like Fi and stuff. You can disrupt them enough, you're okay. And that is where the hamstring shots were supposed to come in. I just haven't ran into that matchup too much. And then the Warriors, I think it's very similar to the Oldham and Guardian matchups. You just put in the two tensions and the Murkmire grapnels and see if you can get damage through. Yeah, I think the Bolton Boots has reduced the brick hands that you get from Azalea, which is nice. Not a whole lot more I have to say about it. I'll be able to discuss it after my Pro Quest on Saturday, see how I did. If I end up playing somebody else, you will know. I'll just show some play testing with them. Obviously, I think KO is an option. I also like playing Fi as well. He can output a lot of damage. And, there's a chance I just slap a Dory together and do the Great Axe. Something that is nice with Sage is that it's so cheap that you're just able to build something on a whim and you can figure it out pretty quickly. The only thing with Azalea is that your game plan is very niche and you're more worried about yourself over than your opponent as far as trying to get the goal that you want. So that's why I've been playtesting a lot. Plus, I didn't play a lot of her when I was in CC, nor did I ever play her in Living Legend. So she it's something new that I'm trying. So learning these lines with Sage has been useful. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We are getting really close to 200. If we do, I still have 2 more boxes of WTR Unlimited to crack open. If you haven't seen that first 2 boxes prior in the past, it should be on a playlist. If not, just look for it. It would just say 100 subscribers. I'm trying to do something for each time we hit a new 100 breakpoint. But we haven't cracked the legendary yet, so it might be in one of these 2 boxes. So look forward to that. So please subscribe so we can hit that mark, and we will discuss the market for Flesh and Blood currently. The last 2 boxes we discussed about the set itself, and I could already tell you now, the WTR set itself doesn't have a huge market at this point. So we'll discuss the current market, and Josh has a good insight with that stuff, so hopefully you'll enjoy it. Alright, take it easy everyone, and I will see you next time.